Hello and welcome back to another week in new genre books. My name is Amelia, and from Locus magazine, I'm about to tell you the top new science fiction, fantasy, and horror books being published the week of October 24th, 2023. October 24th, we're nearly at November, which means it's basically almost January. Is your year getting faster as time goes on by any chance? I have this idea that time goes faster around the holidays. I know we think it's our perception of time that goes faster. Blame the school calendar, the winter weather, holiday parties, whatever. But what if it's actually time itself getting used up somehow as we head toward the end of the year? Let's make the most of the time we have left. In science fiction, we have two titles to tell you about. From Eugen, Ekpeki, we have Secondhand Daylight, out from Cosmic Egg Books in trade paperback and ebook. This is a science fiction time travel novel, a reverse story in two timelines, following a future scientist traveling backwards in time, trying to help an ordinary man jumping uncontrollably forward in time. I guess he's leaping forward instead of sort of trickling forward at 1 second per second like the rest of us. I can see how that would cause gaps in one's resume and other problems. From R.W.W. Greene, we have Earth Retrograde, out from Angry Robot in trade paperback and ebook. This is a science fiction novel, second book of the First Planets series. The United Nations is working to get everyone off Earth by the deadline set by the planet's true owners, the aliens known as the First. Meanwhile, the USA and the USSR have set their sights on Mars, claiming half a planet each. Brooklyn Lamontagne doesn't remember saving the world 8 years ago. Nowadays, he's just about covering his bills with his aging spaceship, the Victory. Then a pal asks for a ride to Mars. In horror, we have two new books. From J. Todd Kingrea, we have With a Blighted Touch, out from BHC Press in hardcover ebook and audio. This is a horror novel. Kit McNeil returns to his small hometown of Blacklock, Tennessee. Half of his high school graduating class are dead, or they've disappeared. Kit and a friend begin to wonder if this is connected to what they witnessed in the woods when they were kids, which the answer is yes. I haven't read the book, that's not a spoiler. We just know how horror works. The scary thing happening now is always connected to the weird and scary thing you experienced as a kid. From Monica Ojeda, we have Nefando, out from Coffee House Press in trade paperback. This is a horror novel. 6 young artists sharing an apartment in Barcelona are all connected in different ways to Nefando, a controversial cult video game. In the parallel reality of the game, players find relief from the pain of past traumas and present shame, but also a frighteningly elastic sense of self and ethics. What happens in a virtual world that admits every taboo? Translated from the Spanish by Sarah Booker, who provides a note on the authors in the text. In fantasy, we have 5 new books to talk about. From Jesmyn Ward, who among other awards has won the 2022 Library of Congress Prize for American Fiction for a lifetime of outstanding work, we have Let Us Descend, out from Simon & Scribner in hardcover ebook and audio. This is a historical novel with fantastic elements. Annis, sold south by the white enslaver who fathered her, journeys from the rice fields of the Carolinas to the slave markets of New Orleans and on to a Louisiana sugar plantation. As she struggles through the long march, Annis seeks comfort from the memories of her mother and stories of her African warrior grandmother. She opens herself to a world beyond this world, one teeming with spirits of earth and water, of myth and history. From Seanan McGuire, we have The Innocent Sleep, out from Daw in hardcover and ebook. This is a fantasy novel 18th in the October Day series, retelling events from Sleep No More, but from the perspective of Tybalt, King of Cats. October has to break Titania's new version of reality, but doesn't know who to trust. From Stephanie Garber, we have A Curse for True Love, out from Flatiron in hardcover ebook and audio. This is a young adult fantasy novel, third in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, set in the world of the Caravel series. Evangeline Fox seems to have found her happy ending. She's married to a handsome prince and lives in a legendary castle, but Evangeline doesn't know what she has lost and the devastating price for this fairy tale, and her husband is determined to make sure she never finds out. From Greta Kelly, we have The Queen of Days, out from Harper Voyager US in hardcover ebook and audio. This is a fantasy adventure novel. Balthazar and his flawed but lovable family of thieves think that stealing a statue during the annual celebration of the god Coronis is just good fun. But Bal doesn't realize that the ceremony isn't just empty tradition, it's true magic ripping open a portal for the god himself. Now the statue has been broken and part has gone missing. Bal must find the missing half of the statue to have any hope of earning his money, keeping his crew alive, and perhaps saving all of humanity. From Ed McDonald, we have Traitor of Redwinter, out from Tor in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a fantasy thriller novel, the second in the Redwinter Chronicles series. The power of the Sixth Gate grows stronger within Rain each day. To control it, she needs lessons no one alive can teach her. There's only one chance to turn the tide of power surging within her, to learn the secrets that were once purged from the world. A strange book with ever-changing pages might have what she needs. In Anthology's collections and Nonfiction, which I'm lumping together for no very good reason, look, I try not to abuse the power I have, we have 4 titles. From the lovely Ellen Datlow, we have Christmas and Other Horrors, an anthology of Solstice horror out from Titan Books in hardcover and ebook. This is an original anthology of short horror stories of Solstice traditions around the globe. Authors include Terry Dowling, Tananarive Due, Stephen Graham Jones, Nick Mamatas, Garth Nix, and Karen Warren. From Oghenechovwe Donald Ekpeki and Joshua Uchenna Omenga, we have Between Dystopias, The Road to Afropantheology, out from K6 Science Fiction and Fantasy in trade paperback. This is a collection of 14 stories, 8 new and 3 essays, 2 reprints, looking at various forms of African mysticism, religions, and dystopias. Most stories were written separately by the 2 authors who collaborate on the introduction and 2 stories. From E. Lily Yu, we have Jewel Box, out from Erihwan in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a debut collection of 22 short stories, bittersweet and boundary-breaking, poignant and profound. Kelly Link, the Pulitzer Prize finalist and author of White Cat, Black Dog, said of Yu's work, like Oscar Wilde or Ray Bradbury, E. Lily Yu writes the kind of delicious short stories that come with a sting in the tail, utterly beguiling. And Locus reviewer Gary K. Wolfe said the following of Yu's first novel. On Fragile Waves has a lot to say about both the power of story and the limits of what stories can do. From editor Mark Blacklock and J.G. Ballard, we have Selected Nonfiction, 1963 to 2007, out from MIT Press in hardcover and ebook. This is a nonfiction collection of the most significant nonfiction from Ballard's career. Contains reviews, editorials, manifestos, and essays, including topics such as 9/11, British politics from New Labour onward, and what he termed the rise of soft fascism, plus commentaries on his own works. Edited by Mark Blacklock, forward by Tom McCarthy. And because our list was a little short this week, I'm going to read you a little bit from the Justina Ireland interview in the September issue of Locus. Keeping track of all of the books being published is only a tiny fraction of what Locus magazine does. We also interview authors and tell you what they're thinking about. This interview is titled, Art Isn't Safe. Ireland says, I have a middle grade book coming out May next year. It takes place in a trailer park, and I grew up in a trailer park, and those scenes were really hard to write because I was excavating those childhood memories. Everyone's like, do you do therapy? No, but I probably should. We all should, but I write books instead. It takes me a while to get through things, but when I do, I always know, wow, that's a really strong scene. That works. That's why there's always a lot of difficult mother-daughter relationships in my books, because moms are difficult and being a mom is difficult. It's hard on either side. Personal stuff always sings. When people say, can I write about this culture I don't belong to? I'm like, why would you? The stuff you can write about from your own personal experience is always going to sound stronger on the page than the stuff you made up because you cobbled together other people's narratives. This is why when people are worried about AI, all writers know that AI isn't a threat to good writing, it's a threat to serviceable writing. There's a big difference between being a good writer and a serviceable writer. That wraps up this week. Thanks for spending some time with us. At Locus, we set out to try to tell you about everything going on in the science fiction, fantasy, horror publishing space. Please like the video so that when we check to see how many likes we have, we see yours there. It matters to us. And leave us a comment. Don't be shy now. Locus Magazine and the Locus YouTube channel are a labor of love. We are at Locus Mag or at Locus Magazine on most platforms. You can read more about the science fiction, fantasy, and horror field over at www.locusmag.com or support us on our Patreon. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. Come back and see us again soon, and we'll be here next week with more new books.